Now, let's create the scene with the final score. Start by creating a new scene. Then, we will add our background, position it, and adjust the instance name. Do you remember the layout of this scene? In it, we will have, in addition to the title, a small paragraph and a text showing the final score. Finally, a button will take you back to the menu scene. Let's add the title by reusing the asset we already have with the name Mega Drive. Reusing assets from your collections helps keep the movie more organized and smaller. Also adjust the text display and positioning. Now, let's add the paragraph text to the collection and stage and position the instance. Let's add the back button by reusing a button asset that we already had. Finally, set the button's trigger action to the menu scene's load. Now, let's start preparing the score display area. We'll use a regular paragraph for this. First, add a paragraph to the stage with the text 10 of 10. Center the paragraph instance on the screen, adjust the font and size, and use black as the text color. The first thing we want to do when this scene is opened is to change the text content, indicating the score. To do this, access Scene in the left menu and click on Properties. In the Scene Properties window, access the Start Actions tab. These actions are executed as soon as the scene is loaded. First, let's create the text with the result. To do this, we will concatenate the current value of the score variable with the rest of the text. The Concatenate Strings action is in the String Values Actions and Conditions group. The first parameter of the action is the name of the string variable that will receive the final text. The second one is the first text to be concatenated. Here, you can use the value of the score variable, preceded by hashtag. It will be automatically converted to text. Now, enter the second part of the text. Type of 10, remembering to leave a blank space at the beginning. Record the action. String concatenation can take more parameters if desired. Add additional text in fields number 4 through number 8 if necessary. Now that we have the score text, let's display it. Create the Change Instance Paragraph text action, which is in the Instance Manipulation group. The first parameter is the instance to receive the new text. Select the one we created for this in our scene. The second is the text to assign. We will use the value of the string variable we just created. To retrieve the value of this type of variable, indicate the name preceded by the dollar symbol. These two action blocks already solve the issue of displaying the text with the current score, but we want to go further, changing the color of the instance text. Green for the total score, orange for values between 6 and 9, and red for the lowest. To do this, we need to create a block with a comparison. Create the condition check if two int values are equal from the group integer values actions and conditions. This comparison requires two parameters, the values to compare. The first is the current value of our score variable. The second is the number 10. Blocks with comparisons have more details than those with simple actions. Expand this most recent block by selecting it and clicking the Expand button, or simply clicking on it with the middle mouse button. Note that the block has its own plus buttons, one to add actions to execute if the comparison is true, then, which in our case happens when the score is 10, and the other for the actions to execute when the comparison is false, else. Add an action to the then, true, result. Use Change Instance Text Font Color from the Instance Manipulation group. The first parameter is the text instance. The second is the color. Let's use a hexadecimal value for green. See how our action blocks look. Now, let's define what happens if the score is less than 10. Click on the plus button in the else, false, result. The new block will also be a comparison. Select check if the first int value is greater or equal from the group integer values actions and conditions. The first parameter is our score variable and the second is 6. Here's what our blocks look like now. You can group comparisons together to create elaborate logic in your productions. Let's now add a then action to the result of this new comparison. Again, let's change the text color of the instance, now to orange. Let's add the last action in the else result, setting the text color to red. With this we have finished defining the logic for changing text and color according to the score when starting the scene. Click on Set Properties to record the actions and remember to publish this scene.